Hey there, I'm from Hero to Zero, and a while back I got this envelope with a game in it. Now, it seems like someone really wants me to play this game, because when I woke up this morning, my entire bedroom wall was filled with red pentagrams, forming the words, "Play the game." Well, I'm the one who put the pentagrams up there, but back then, they were black and not forming coherent sentences. So I guess it's high time we took a look at Rayman 2 Forever for the Game Boy Color. Rayman 2, eh? That must mean there's a Rayman on... Holy shit, what was that?
Okay, I admit, I have a problem. But can you really blame me for wanting to experience such a proclaimed series from start to finish? Okay, calling the Game Boy Color versions of Rayman a proclaimed series might be stretching it a bit. I just need to justify this to myself, okay? This has definitely been brought up a bunch of times already, but wow, the releases of Rayman 1 and 2 really are all over the place. Rayman 1 for the Game Boy Color was released the same year as Rayman Revolution, which was released 1 year before Rayman 2 on the Game Boy Color, which was released the same year as Rayman 1 on the GBA. I'm pretty sure that the only thing stopping Ubisoft from re-releasing these games on newer systems is that they'll actually have to put in some effort. Well, to be fair, it's not like they didn't with the color ports. For all intents and purposes, both Rayman 1 and Rayman 2 are new games with little discernible likenesses from their home console counterparts. Well, 1 does look a lot more like itself than 2 though. When you first start up the game, you're greeted with a small little animation. Oh, so that's where all the cartridge space went to.
Wait, this doesn't sound right. I must have picked the wrong game.
So someone thought, hey, the music in Rayman 1 isn't recognizable enough. Let's use the music from our newest game instead. I legit thought I was playing Rayman 2 for a minute there. With how similar they look and the weird naming conventions at the time, can you really blame me? I mean, Rayman 2 has the subtext forever, for fuck's sake. The game's story is basically the same as from the home console version, only slightly abridged. Mr. Dark is at it again and Rayman has to go and stop him. The levels takes inspiration from the original, pretty much the whole way through. The art is actually pretty decent for a Game Boy game, with backgrounds and small dancing plants even. It's nowhere near the PlayStation version of course, but it's enough to recognize the different locales. Although their names doesn't line up, it's pretty easy to see that this is Bandland. They even have those funny trumpets. I'm actually surprised at how well this game plays. There are sliding physics and you can get up to pretty high speeds. After a while you get the helicopter and grab power up, but you already start out with both the punch and the ability to hang from ledges. Honestly, Rayman controls really well here. Even the flying sections feels good. Maybe even better than in the original. Except when there's no way to escape getting hit since enemies fly way faster than you. The level design isn't half bad either. It's mostly linear with some secrets here and there, never something too complicated. The only thing that annoys me is that sometimes you can't really differentiate between background art and actual platforms. This made it so I had to stop and try to foresee where the devs meant for me to go. Most of the time it's not too hard though.
So, yeah, it's nothing special. Honestly, it's way more than I thought we'd get. However, if only one aspect of the game is so bad that you can't bear to play through it, it really doesn't matter how good the rest of the game is. I am of course talking about the music.
Oh god, the music. If this is hell, then I will turn over a new leaf and become an exemplary Christian for the rest of my life to avoid it. They don't even fit the environments most of the time. They're all literally tracks from Rayman 2, and it sounds like they're all compressed, almost to the point of being just static. The original Pokemon games had better music than this. I am trying to avoid using the in-game songs as background here, opting instead to use the Nintendo 64 soundtrack for the most part, and that's just because these tunes are that air grating. Here's a little peek into what it actually sounds like. You can turn the music off in the options menu, but I can't bring myself to do that no matter how bad it gets. The only time the music is tolerable is when it's a heavily, emphasis on heavily, edited version of its counterpart, like in the Fiery Depths. After that comes a wholly original level, with old gimmicks. I admit, it is kinda nice to see Dark Rayman make a comeback, but the inverted controls section is even easier than in the original. After reaching the end, we get a short cutscene where Rayman is all like, "Okay, mister, it's just you and me now. Come out. You've messed with the wrong guy's friends." Then we see Mr. Dark appearing right behind Rayman.
What the fuck? Did one of my eardrums just burst?
It's kinda cool that you actually fight Mr. Dark this time. I also like how the real reason Rayman was so pissed is because he was woken up from his slumber. Alright, on to number 2.
There's actually a bit of a story behind this game. See, I never really played Rayman 1 on the Game Boy Color back in the day, but this one I did. I think we were on a cruise in the late 2005. And one of the shops there actually had this like huge bargain bin just full of old games. And yeah.
I bought 2 games, a Tom and Jerry game and Rayman 2 Forever.
I remember this one being pretty hard for some reason. I just couldn't get past the first few levels. So what we're here to find out is if it was because of the vertigo out at sea, because the game actually is hard, or because I'm just plain bad at video games. Let's pop it in.
Wait, what do you mean Rayman 2 The Great Escape? That's not what it says on the cartridge at all.
Okay, did I actually insert the wrong game this time?
Nope, that's just how it is, I guess. Well, apart from the name on the cart being wrong, this is pretty much the story to Rayman 2. Hey, is it just me, or is the music actually somewhat better? Yeah, I guess with that animation gone, they had enough space to insert a few more beats to the tunes. It's a welcome addition, don't get me wrong, but the music still sucks. The worst part about it is that they ripped it straight from the previous game. There are no new tracks, and that means that some levels use the wrong song. The Fairy Glade, for example, uses music from the Canopy, but wait, if the Fairy Glade uses music from the Canopy, what does the Canopy use? The Echoing Caves? But if the Canopy uses music from the Echoing Caves, what music does the Echoing Caves... I give up. The worst offender by far is that the Marches of Awakening uses the track for the Cave of Bad Dreams. And do you want to know which track the Cave of Bad Dreams uses? Fucking Woods of Light!
Ah, shit. There goes the other eardrum too. The only thing I'll hear now is my own thoughts. And I hate that guy.
Oh well, it's not all bad. Now I won't have to listen to the music anymore at least. Well, that gives me more of a chance at focusing on the gameplay. It's pretty much the same as the last game. You already have all your powers to start off with, and Rayman feels just the same as last time. He kinda looks the same too. Yeah, this game reuses a bunch of assets. Remember those dancing mushrooms and flowers from Rayman 2? Yeah, me neither. Well, to be fair, there is some new stuff in here. The world's hair has been modeled to look much closer to Rayman 2 than the first game did to Rayman 1. They even have the same names and level themes this time around. Hey, they even included a new climbing animation, which actually looks pretty good. As for new things, well, except for the levels, some new enemies, the lumps you'll be collecting, and the teensies that pop out from cages, that's pretty much it. Okay, maybe that was a little harsh. There's actually a lot of new stuff added here. There are switches that unlock laser doors, which you can really just damage boost through, and even 2 bosses. Well, what I mean is 1 boss. You fight this henchman at the end of the precipice, and then once more as the final boss. I just love how the game builds up to this epic fight against Razorbeard, and you just plop down in an arena against the same old robot you fought before. There are also some new art slides here. Not only have the level slides seen a huge boost in quality, but there are more cutscenes in here too. They look pretty good, I'd say. Except for Lee, who looks like a Kardashian.
Oh god! My eyes! First you take my hearing and now you're taking my sight, you piece of shit! I was hoping I'd never see Polycus again, but you do not disappoint, Rayman. No, you don't. I guess I'll just have to complete this game from memory now, huh?
Well, at least there's not much left after collecting the final mask. And with all these 1-ups I've collected, I can pretty much just feel my way there. After a few short levels, one of which includes a flying section, we're finally here.
Alright, this is the final showdown. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this is the final showdown we've been building up to. And even though we know it's not Razorbeard, that doesn't make it any less epic.
Thankfully, I already fought this guy once before, and his patterns are pretty much the same, so I reckon I don't actually need my eyes for this one.
That's okay. I don't really need my legs either.
Thankfully, the boss is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is just punch him, like a bunch of times. And if you're fast enough, but not too fast, he won't even get off an attack.
Phew, I'm glad that's done with.
We get this short clip of Rayman winking to the camera, and a small party, and that's it.
You know, it wasn't actually that bad as I remember. For the most part, I actually had a pretty relaxing time with these games.
Maybe it's nostalgia talking, but this might be one of the better Game Boy games, especially from a gameplay perspective. If you want to revisit the levels, you're plopped into an overworld when you finish too. It's the same for Rayman 1, but there you have to actually write down and input a password. Like, even some of the earliest black and white Game Boy games had battery saves, Ubisoft. Why did you have to go and dig passwords back up from the grave?
Anyhow, that hopefully ends that saga. It was kind of weird how I progressively just got worse and worse for wear as I played through. And also there's no real return address on this envelope. But hey, who can say no to free games, am I right?
Okay, mister, it's just you and me now. Come out. You've messed with the wrong guy's friends. What the fuck was that?
Alright, this is the final showdown. Oh, sorry. Alright, this is the final showdown against Polycus. I wish.